LSU basketball season ended this weekend in very disappointing fashion. Now, we'll have more on how it played out in Nashville.
Also, LSU softball opened SEC play this weekend. We'll have more on how the Tigers competed against their first SEC opponent.
And later on, Kamryn Stelly will be here to update you on how LSU baseball did in their weekend series.
Don't go anywhere. The sports desk starts right now.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Derek Kopp.
And I'm Max Hawkins. Let's begin tonight with LSU struggling in the SEC tournament.
Now, after defeating Tennessee on Friday, LSU moved on to the next round against the Texas A&M Aggies. Now, the Tigers had a historically bad scoring night and only put up 38 points. Tiger TV's Brian Pellerin has more on what went down in Nashville.
That's the story of the day. LSU came out and couldn't make a shot.
Normally saying a team couldn't make a shot is an exaggeration, but for LSU it truly was almost impossible. After a quick start to the game, LSU held an 8-3 lead, but then went cold. The Tigers would go the final 15 minutes of the first half with only one made basket.
We went out there, and I think in the first couple of minutes we got a lot of stops. We were in tune, but we just couldn't throw it in the bucket tonight.
The offensive drought allowed A&M to go on a 32-5 run to close out the half, all but ending LSU's chances of advancing. It took the Tigers nearly the entire second half to reach A&M's halftime total of 35. By game's end, LSU scored only 38 points on 20% shooting, giving the Aggies a 33-point victory.
From three-pointers to layups to everything, we just couldn't make any baskets.
The poor shooting performance resulted in a historically bad night for the Purple and Gold. It was the worst SEC tournament loss in program history and was only the third time since 1948 LSU had scored 38 points or less in a game. That total is also the lowest any major D1 basketball team has scored this season, and the fewest the team has scored in the SEC tournament since 1985, when Mississippi State could only muster 31 in a loss to Alabama. When LSU needed a win most, the Tigers put out their worst performance.
I never seen nothing like a college team perform so badly.
Just picked our worst day of the season and shoot like we did.
The Tigers are likely out of the NCAA tournament picture for good. They could play in the NIT, but for many Tiger fans, this game marked the end of the Ben Simmons era at LSU as he figures to depart for the NBA sooner rather than later. And if it was his last meaningful game, it wasn't one LSU fans will soon forget. From Nashville, Tennessee, Brian Pellerin, Tiger TV Sports.
Now, the Tigers were not picked to participate in the NCAA tournament, and head coach Johnny Jones came out yesterday and said LSU will not be competing in any postseason tournament. Now, with that said, let's take a look at this year's bracket. Starting in the South region, you're going to have a tough Kansas team. We were just talking about Kansas and UConn. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for both teams. Really good depth all around the board. Here's the East. This is another good one. UNC. Watch that Kentucky Stony Brook game. That will be difficult. A lot more difficult than most Kentucky fans would think, I would imagine. Now, if we move on to the next one, the West. This is another great one. Cincinnati should be good. Baylor and Yale. Watch that for the upset. Duke, always tough in this time of the year. Green Bay also got to pull for them against A&M. Toughest one's that other bracket now. You're going to have Virginia. I like Virginia, Michigan State. That's a good bracket, but only time will tell.
LSU softball began SEC play this weekend against the Alabama Crimson Tide. They took 2 of 3 games from the Crimson Tide. Here we show you more from what happened at Tiger Park. Sunday was a beautiful day at Tiger Park. There were clear skies, the sun was out bright, and the LSU softball Tigers showed up big.
Yeah, last night I wouldn't say it was LSU softball, but today was, and it's all about how you answer back.
The Tigers got an 8-1 win Sunday after losing to Alabama 10-3 on a rainy Saturday night.
It's just all about having a short memory. Like, we're going to play good teams. I'm going to get knocked around a little. We're going to make a few errors. Sometimes we might strike out, but it's all about the next at-bat, the next pitch, the next play.
A big reason for LSU's success was sophomore pitcher Carly Hoover, who pitched in every game of the series. Hoover struck out 18 batters and allowed only 5 runs throughout the weekend.
But she's just so competitive and will do anything she can to win. If she could have thrown every inning of all 3 games this weekend, she would have.
Hoover got some good backup from LSU's lineup. Tigers' Bianca Bell and Kelsey Kloss each had home runs.
You know, to take 2 wins like that and in the way that we did it, that's really awesome. It sends a big message to the people that we have upcoming.
The Tigers softball team only gets 1 day of rest before taking the field again. They travel to Ruston Tuesday to take on Louisiana Tech.
For Tiger TV Sports, this is Max Hawkins.
After their matchup against Louisiana Tech, the Tigers head to College Station for a weekend series to continue SEC play against Texas A&M.
Now, with just 45 days until the NFL draft, opportunities for NFL prospects to make their case is running out, as the NFL Combine has already come and gone in February. Now, this is why schools hold a pro day for scouts to get one last look at who they may select come April 28th. Now, today in the LSU practice facility, players such as senior linebacker Deion Jones, Debo, put on a show. Now, it started off when he bench pressed 225 pounds for 16 reps. Then he ran a 40 time of 4.38, which was a big improvement from his combine time of a 4.59. His shuttle run was also a quick 4.32. Now, his performance can only improve his draft stock after an already impressive four-year career at LSU. The head coach Les Miles does not mind that there was not a lot of player participation in today's pro day.
We kind of enjoy it that way, to be honest with you. We prefer the fewer the number, the better. We think that this should hopefully become the norm.
LSU Gymnastics put up a 197.825 to win the Texas Women's Quad meet Saturday night in Denton, Texas. This was the third highest score the Tigers put up this season. Ashley Natt scored another perfect 10 for LSU on the floor. Natt also became the first gymnast in LSU history to score 5 perfect 10s in one season. She also won her 8th floor title of the season, which is the most of any gymnast in the Southeastern Conference. Now, next up, the Tigers begin postseason competition at the SEC Championship in Little Rock, Arkansas, starting on March 19th. LSU is currently ranked 3rd in the nation.
Coming up after the break, Kamryn Stelly will be here to fill you in on how LSU baseball did this weekend at the box.
Don't go anywhere. The sports desk will be right back.
Another big weekend at Alex Box Stadium for LSU baseball, who hosted Ball State for a 3-game series. LSU won 2 of their 3 games. Take a look.
Friday night, they just simply whipped us.
Ball State gave LSU a wake-up call Friday night by ending their 6-game winning streak. Senior left-handed pitcher Kevin Martin for Ball State only allowed 1 run, while junior Jared Poche for LSU gave up 7. The Cardinals hitters overpowered Poche, hitting 4 out of the park. Ball State went on to win 7-1, having 11 hits during the game, and LSU only having 8.
But I thought our team showed a lot of character coming back Saturday and Sunday.
For Saturday's matchup, LSU's offense showed up ready to work, getting 12 hits and scoring 9 runs. Junior Jake Fraley drilled a 2-run single in the bottom of the 4th. The Tigers go on to win Game 2 9-3 over Ball State. On Sunday, another big offensive game for the Tigers. Catcher Michael Papierski had the first 3-hit game of his career and drove in 3 runs. Greg Dykman had 2 RBIs, both coming on this home run over the right field wall. The Tigers closed the series with a 10-6 win over the Cardinals.
I thought we played really good ball both days. Good defense. Our pitching, our starting pitching was really solid.
Valek and Lang gave up a combined 4 runs in 11 innings, but Coach Maneri says he's most impressed by the Tigers' improvement at the plate.
Yeah, we've had a lot of consistency. Fraley's hitting 400, Duplantis is up there, and now Robertson's getting it going as well. So I feel good about where we are.
The Tigers enter their final game before conference play, hitting over 300 as a team on the year. That final non-conference game on Wednesday before SEC play is against UNO. The Privateers are 13-3 so far this season. After the break, Derek and Max will be back with more after this.
Well, guys, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. But for more, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ttv_sports. And we're also online at tigertv.tv. I'm Derek Kopp.
I'm Max Hawkins. Thank you for watching again, and we'll see you back here next week.